Hi, again, this is Mr. Montgomery's class. So if you guys are watching this, you should be working on the pixelated image project. So for this, we are going to be pixelating a picture of a pug for this demo. I'm going to show you how to do that in Photoshop. I sent you an attachment for how to do it in Gimp if you want to do it in Gimp. Um, they're probably very similar. And any of the other programs that we worked with before, you can look at those as well. There'll be very similar aspects. It's a pretty basic project. So we'll just get started. And again, if you're joining in, feel free to write something in the comments or in the chat so I could try to answer any questions you might have. Uh, Besides that, we'll just get started. So first thing we did here, or I found a high-res photo online. You could be anything you want. I chose this pug. So when you go to File, Open, and then you want to choose the picture that you downloaded or saved, and then this should be like this. Make sure you want to copy the background. So you go to the background down here, drag the background down to the bent piece of paper in Photoshop. So now we have a background and background copy. Good. First thing you want to do is set up a grid pattern. And so to do that, you want to go to View at the top in Photoshop, go to Show, and then choose Grid. It's going to break it down into squares already for you. So if I zoom in here, you can see every square is already sort of identified for you. It makes it a little bit easier instead of trying to freehand all the squares and figuring out what color needs to go in which spot. And it just helps you because then like you'll see areas like this that there's just a fraction of the fur in it. The spot might be blank, so you don't even have to put a pixel in there. So we'll go with some of the ones we started with already. So so you can see some of them as they appear. And then as you go through, we'll make some of the squares as well as making the colors for them. So let me just add the rest of the ones that we started with already. So it is a larger file because of the amount of colors and squares. So if I turn off the grid, just for the moment, even though it's a little hard to see, you can sort of identify that it is the pug that it was. And so today we'll work on more of the body, try to finish them up. So keeping the grid on, so go back to View, Show, Grid, and then we'll zoom in here and we'll start working on more of the body. So the next thing you want to do is I use the Marquee Tool here, the Shape Tool. And so what I'm going to do is go from corner to corner. It already gives me the marching ants, the dotted lines. I'm going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. Okay. And you can Eyedropper Tool. So you want an eyedropper tool actually before it. That's the sort of the trick. So we'll eyedropper first. So now go to File or Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. Okay, and that's the color we picked. So eyedropper tool, Marquee, Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. Good. Eyedropper. And again, you can use the letter I on the keyboard for that shortcut. Makes it save you a little bit of time. If you want to use more of the shortcuts, that's fine too. It'll cut down your time. Sorry, so I went eyedropper to the new fill layer, so make sure you go marquee in between. There you go, so it's highlighted. Layer, new fill layer, solid color. There you go, that's the color we picked. Back to Eyedropper Tool. Marquee. So just by chance, these happen to be all very similar colors. Eyedropper Tool. Marquee. Layer, new fill, solid. So whatever one you hit last with the eyedropper tool is the color that it will become. So if you keep clicking around, it'll change the color. So you're not stuck with the one you just clicked on. So if you're watching now, feel free to write something in the chat so I know you're here. So again, we're working on the pixelated image. So I used a pug image first, and then started filling in the colors. And again, that's go to View, Show, Grid. That helps you identify where you need to fill in the squares. And then the process we're doing right now is Eyedropper Tool. So over here on the left, or I on the keyboard, click on the spot you want. Then Marquee Tool, Layer, new fill layer, solid color. Okay, because that's the color that we selected from previously. Layer, new fill layer, solid color. Okay. So there is another process to doing this. You can use the shape tool as well. So build the shape, eyedropper tool. So these ones, the eyedropper tool, just click on one. So you have two options. You can do the Marquee Tool one, or the shape tool. So we'll do another shape tool. So eyedropper tool, click first on where we want it to be, and then I go to make a shape, and then go to fill, and then these are the recently used colors. The one that's most on the left is the one you recently eyedropper tooled, so you can click on that. So right now they're very similar. Then you can click away, go back to the eyedropper tool, click somewhere else. New shape tool. Go here. So this is the most recent. So we click on the white, and then now it's this tannish color. Away. Eyedropper tool. We'll go down here and make it a little bit darker. Shape tool. Most recent color. There we go. Eyedropper. Shape tool. So this is the process. You have two different variations here. I'm going to just continue working. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat or email me. Keep in mind this is due next week. I should be able to sort of get an idea of what your picture looks like. Make sure the pixels are small enough so they're not like 4 pixels for like one whole image. It should be small enough so you can see from afar. So if it was from far away, you can sort of get an idea of what it looked like. So if you start using the shortcuts, it should save you a little bit of time. I'm not sure if the shortcuts are the same for Gimp or any other programs, but there probably are, just because it'll save you time. I recommend using them. So there's 2 different processes, just to recap, for making this pixelated image. Again, one is Eyedropper Tool, then the Shape Tool, then go to the fill at the top here. Choosing the leftmost one is the one you recently Eyedropper tooled. The other is Marquee Tool, or Eyedropper Tool, Marquee Tool to make the box, and then go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color, and then Enter, because those are the colors that you chose recently. Make sure your grid is on so you can see how big the square should be. So that's View, Show, Grid. So those on and off so you can see the pixelated image. Helps guide you on the box shapes. Besides that, check out the second video if you want to see more completed this or just another refresher. Make sure you save as a PDF or a PNG when submitting them so that someone else can view them. Okay? Thanks.